Hello, everyone, and welcome to the week of Student Assembly. My name is Bryce Mack, and I'm the treasurer of SUNY SA. I am also a graduate of Nassau Community College and a current student at SUNY New Paltz. I am super excited to welcome and introduce our guest, Tristan Walker. Mr. Walker is the founder and CEO of Walker & Company, the world's most consumer-centric health and beauty product company. My fault. They're offered products that are designated to meet the special needs of Black men. He is also the founder and CEO of CODE2040, which is a nonprofit organization that offers opportunities in technology and engineering for Black, Latinx, and underrepresented students. So welcome, Tristan.
Thanks for having me, Bryce. Glad to be here.
Thank you for joining. So the way this will go is that we'll do a little Q&A so the viewers at home will be able to get to know you better. Does that sound good?
Cool. That sounds good.
Awesome, man. The first question is, can you tell us a little bit about your upbringing and what inspired you to become an entrepreneur and build your own business?
Yeah, of course. So, I'm from Queens, New York, born and raised. Started in Jamaica, Queens. My family still lives in Flushing, Queens. I live in Atlanta now, but most of my life has been spent from Queens, New York. Pretty rough beginnings. Projects, welfare, all that stuff, right? And I realized early on I had one goal in life, and that was to get as wealthy as possible, as quickly as possible. And I wanted to do everything I could to realize kind of some of that hope and vision. I'm not wealthy yet, but I'm still trying. But I had a motivation at a very early age to kind of get my family out of that mess. And I'm still very much on a mission, not only for my own family, but our people as a whole in terms of economic empowerment.
Awesome, man. The second question is, what challenges did you face in starting to build your business, and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, so the biggest challenge in building the business is starting. Right? I've always had a whole bunch of different ideas, and I could never get started. And it wasn't until I came up with this one, Walker & Company, that I really felt that it had to be done. The thing that I learned throughout the entire period, and I speak to a lot of people who are trying to start their own companies, you got to really think about doing the thing that you feel uniquely positioned to do, where you feel like you might be the best person in the world to solve that problem. At Walker & Company, we're most well known for our shaving brand called Bevel. And Bevel, at the time when we started, was the first and only kind of shaving system designed to help eliminate razor bumps and that sort of thing for men and women alike, but specifically a pain point for Black men. It was a problem I had for 15 years up until that point. No brand was serving me in the way that I deserved to be served. The packaging on kind of any of the brands that serve Black men were terrible, disgusting, and embarrassing in a lot of ways. I felt that we were culturally influential and deserved a brand that respected our needs. And I was able to potentially raise the money for it. So I felt my own authenticity, the network that I had, and the ability and proven track record to build things put me in a position to kind of get it started. But getting started tends to be kind of the most difficult thing that I had to go through, but certainly that I hear from other people. And the only thing that allowed me to break that barrier down was to realize that I was the guy for that problem.
Awesome, man. And especially with this pandemic, we're all going to be needing shaving products after this.
That's right. That's right. We got you.
So I had to check it out myself.
Good man.
And what have you found to be most rewarding in your career?
Like starting a company or just in general?
Just in general.
Yeah, I started the company about 7 years ago in 2018. At the end of 2018, got this merged with Procter & Gamble. So it was a pretty big validating moment for me because, we got the respect of the company that was around 180 years. And I want this company to be around for the next 180 years. And it really kind of started that process for us, right? Procter & Gamble serves 5 billion people around the world, the majority of whom look more like me, right? Mm-hmm. And when I think about the legacy that I'm hoping to build for my 2 sons and my family, Walker & Company is very much a solidified one that will continue. So I'm most proud that I did what I aimed to say I was going to do, and that was to support us in the way that we deserve to be supported.
100%. And I can really say that you are a huge inspiration for individuals who either want to become an entrepreneur like yourself or just achieve their dreams. Because as you know, it's very difficult to start something, but to keep pursuing it takes a lot of strength. So a lot of
Yeah,
people can look up to that.
it's hard,
Um,
but it's possible. And you know,
mhm,
I'm very fortunate that you know, it was made possible for me along the way.
100%, man. And can you talk about your time at Stony Brook? What you enjoyed it the most and how it helped you pursue your business?
Yeah, totally. Well, I mean, the most important part of it, I met my wife there. You know, I will be married this summer, 13 years now. So
Congrats.
yeah, well, thank you. We both graduated in 2005. Got married 2 years later, and you know, I say that pretty deliberately because, frankly, without kind of her and her support and her advice and her coaching and guidance, none of this would be possible, right? You know, the walking company is both of us, right? And you know, I just happen to be the one who does the interviews and all that stuff. And we're very, very thankful for kind of all of her guidance. So that was kind of far and away the most important kind of part of kind of my Stony Brook experience. But look, overall, you know, Stony Brook is a wonderful school, and I think with each passing year, you know, more and more people start to realize how important that school is, not only on the New York ecosystem, but kind of more broadly in the country. The research that's done there, right? The student body makeup that's there. You know, I got to really understand, you know, New York in its full glory at Stony Brook, with folks that just wanted to create and kind of make better for themselves. And to this day, there are a lot of friends and kind of acquaintances that I've had there where I reflect back and say, wow, you've done it, you know? And, you know, I got to be myself at Stony Brook, which I really, really did appreciate.
Yeah, 100%, man. Just being able to, like you said, be yourself really helps breed creativity. So you
That's
can
right.
like understand that anything is possible.
That's right. It's you got to be authentic, and you know, Stony Brook. It's hard not to be. I should say. Yeah.
It's a great school. So 100% great
Totally.
school. I'm looking potentially going there for grad school. So I'll keep that in
Oh,
mind.
good.
Like I've heard
Good.
nothing
Good.
but good things about Stony Brook.
I mean, it has amazing graduate programs, and you know, it's not something to be regretted.
100%, man. And what advice would you give other students who want to become an entrepreneur like yourself? What advice would you give them? What have you learned that would help their own journey?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing is know why you want to be an entrepreneur. I mean, you know, I joke, but I'm somewhat serious about it. Like being an entrepreneur sucks. Like there's nothing glamorous about it, right? You know, a lot of people think about wanting to start a company, but they don't think too much about running it. And what I mean by that is you got to hire people, you got to fire people, you got to raise money. Sometimes you can't raise money, right? You know, what do you do during crises like these, right? Where kind of consumers might not be there for you anymore, right? You know, you got to make sure that the business is run, that people get paid, and mouths get fed, and that sort of thing, right? So there's a whole part of the job that people need to realize exists. And I think the quicker you kind of realize and recognize and understand that that part of the job is rewarding on its own, right? I
Yeah.
think it makes a lot of things easier. And I think the failures that I see are when folks don't give that enough respect. And then when they come on those moments of kind of pain and toughness, it's hard to get out of it because they hadn't kind of foresaw what might come. So, you know, the first thing you got to do is, you know, how do you work on the thing that you feel uniquely positioned to do? Great. Now you got to think, do you want to be the CEO of that company, right? Or do you want to kind of hand off the reins to someone else? And if you want to be the CEO of that company or lead that company, you got to understand that leadership requires a lot of fun work and a lot of terrible work, right? But it's work. And the quicker you come to grips with those two things, I think the better off you'll be.
Awesome, man. And I know a lot of students who are listening will really take that to heart and realize that, again, anything is possible. Obviously, with the pandemic now, things are going to be difficult, but looking at you, they can understand, like, they keep working, they know they can make it.
Well, I think
And what
the thing that's important is not everybody does make it,
Yeah.
right? And I try and be as honest as possible about this. The math is just not on our side. 90% of these things fail. That just makes it like even more critical to really feel like you're the best person in the world to solve the thing that you're doing. Because if you feel like you're the best person in the world to solve the thing that you're doing, then you have a higher likelihood of success. And I know a lot of people think that they are, but you got to really know that you are. And the only way that you know is if you've kind of leveraged the experiences that you've had, right? I had 15 years of not being able to shave and getting razor bumps on my face, knowing what that feels like. I had 15 years of walking down the aisles and feeling disrespected as a consumer, right? I was able to raise the money, that sort of thing. And some people are embarrassed by the thing that they feel uniquely qualified to do. You might have a better way, the example I always give people laugh at, of, wiping your butt when you use toilet paper, right? And we laugh at that, but like you start to think like someone invented toilet paper, and that person is paid, like there is a uniqueness to your experiences that should be respected because only you live your experience, right? And you shouldn't shy away from that. Like that's where the beauty is.
Yeah, 100%. And for students who want to become an entrepreneur but not sure where to begin, what advice would you have for them?
Well, the first advice I was give is nobody's gonna force you to do anything. You got to do it yourself. And again, I think a lot of people are stuck because they think they know what they want to do, as opposed to doing the thing that they're uniquely qualified to do. There are too many entrepreneurs working on the wrong things, right? And I'm like blessed and fortunate that like I actually had a pretty successful outcome and it was great and it worked out for me. But the reason I had a successful outcome because I was uniquely positioned to do it, right? I had a bunch of other ideas that I could have worked on, but I decided not to because someone else who was uniquely positioned to do those things would have come and eaten my lunch, right? And it would have been a harder type of company to run. So the advice in getting started is knowing why you're getting started. And if you can't really in detail explain why you're working on that idea, then you probably shouldn't be doing it. Because when times suck, right? When they get hard, you really have to come back to your why. And sometimes people don't really kind of embrace what that why is, honestly.
Yeah, I completely understand. Just having that motivation to pursue it really helps people achieve their goal.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
what can we expect to see from you in the future? I know right now with COVID, things are always up in the air, but once things calm down, what can we expect from you?
Yeah, I mean, even now, you guys can still hear me, right? My Wi-Fi is kind of crazy. You good?
Yeah, we can still see
Okay,
you.
cool. Yeah, we're doing much of the same. During this COVID-19 stuff, it's interesting. Like our business is growing, right? I mean, as you said, like people still need to shave, they still need to wash their bodies, they still need to, in fact, like our business is growing faster than it ever has, which is very cool, right? Now, it sucks that the circumstances are here to allow for something like that to happen, right? But the business is doing pretty well. As far as kind of what's kind of in the future for me, like we're 7 years in to a 150-year plan, right? So I still have some work to do. I really do mean that. I wanted to build something that has as much legacy as a Procter and Gamble. And there's still a lot of consumers that we still have to serve, right? So in the meantime, I am kind of doing all that I can to, ensure that our mission continues to get followed. I'm also on the board of Foot Locker, which is kind of wonderful and exciting. So, I have a kind of really, really wonderful opportunity to learn from a company that has, served consumers globally, right? Even throughout this kind of pandemic and crisis, it's very fascinating to see how a company like that really kind of manages through it. So, the future for me is just about learning and then finding what that next kind of authentic opportunity for me might be, right? But right now, between Foot Locker and Walker and Company, those are the two things occupying kind of my time because of the authenticity that I bring to both.
That's awesome, man. And I know you're very busy with both of them. But I have to ask, for those who are listening who are sneakerheads, can you give a little insight on what it's like working for Foot Locker? I know a lot of people are probably interested about that.
Yeah, that's a good question. For me, it's a bit of a dream come true, actually. Like I'm the youngest person on the board. I'm closest to the consumer, and I have the tech experience and all that stuff. So I get to bring kind of this really interesting, unique perspective. I was telling them throughout my process of engaging with them, Foot Locker Inc. owns the East Bay, Foot Action, Champs, and a few other kind of major properties. And, I've had an interaction with each of those brands, since I was 10, 11 years old. I remember, I'm old enough to remember when I was 13 years old, I was ordering sneakers out of the East Bay with like a money order. Right? Like I've been a part of that kind of company for a long time. I would go to the 34th Street kind of Foot Locker, the main store near the headquarters since I was 13, 14 years old. I would live in that store, right? So for me, it's a bit of a dream come true. And the thing that's really wonderful is, Foot Locker is moving from this kind of large retailer of sneakers and apparel to a new mission of like empowering and inspiring youth culture, right? And this is something I'm very used to at Walker & Company, right? Like we are kind of offering, health and beauty solutions to folks that kind of push the culture, right? Black, Latino consumers, right? And so Foot Locker's work and my work with Walker & Company are very aligned. And it's cool to be a part of, I think, a company that I've been so passionate about with a product in sneakers, among other things that I've been so passionate about.
That's awesome, man. I remember growing up, I was big into Foot Locker, always been a sneakerhead. Do you have a favorite type of shoe brand? You were Jordan, a Nike type of guy?
Yeah, nice. Gosh, man, I'm on, especially during this pandemic, I'm buying way too many sneakers. But, as far as like my favorite shoes, any Jordan 1s. I can get too specific. Like I have a few kind of holy grail shoes. There's one, a Union LA Jordan 1, beautiful shoe. Air Maxes, specifically like the collaborative ones. There's one with Sean Witherspoon that I really like that I just got. Travis Scott ones, all that stuff. Like Foot Locker is also an investor in GOAT, the sneaker app for secondary shoes. So I'm always in there kind of copying new stuff. But man, like I could go on for hours about this stuff. Yeah.
Sneakers is a big part of the culture, and with your company, Foot Locker, that collaboration really helps the younger generation find themselves, because that really helps just improve our country.
That's right. Yeah, no, that's the point, man. It's there needs to be a respect for the people that are driving empowering culture, and I've dedicated my life to that mission now. Now that I've gotten a taste of it, I want the whole plate, right? And I want to kind of share place with other people around that table too, right? Because we all need to participate in this, because we've been doing this together for the past few hundred years, right?
Yeah.
But now I think it's getting respected in the way that it continues to deserve.
Yeah, 100%, man. It's all about respect, and it's all about helping the youth. And I have to say, this has been an amazing conversation, Tristan. Like, I respect you 100%, and that motivated me
That's cool.
to pursue my own dreams. Is there anything else you want to tell the viewers, share with the viewers? Anything?
No, I mean, I just say, look, no one can define your steps but you, right? And also know that what you know when you're 20, I graduated when I was around 20 or so. It's very different. I'm 35 now, and the amount of experiences that I've had, I've married, 2 children, right? I'm a very different type of person, but with each year has come like a wisdom that I'm able to apply like the following years. So the last thing I'd say, and this, I graduated Stony Brook in 3 years. I was in a rush, right? And it was a great experience, but I tried to rush to kind of get to the next stage of my career and life. I'd say don't rush. If there's any kind of lesson that I've learned, right, take your time, embrace the things that, again, you're uniquely qualified to do and that you love. Because if you spend time focusing on that, you'll never be unhappy, right? So there's no need to rush throughout this. And it's no different from, whether or not you want to be an entrepreneur or not, right? The same principle applies.
That's what's up, man. That 100%. Like, I respect you so much for that, man. And again, I want to thank you for just creating some time in your schedule for allowing me to interview you, man. I really hope you and your family stay safe. Again, who knows what's going to happen with all this, but take it one day at a time, and we'll see what happens. So
Yeah,
just thank you so much.
same to you, man. And just I pray that not only you but also any of the folks who are listening to this remain safe, healthy. Everybody should stay home, right? Honestly, like, we're all in this stuff together, but the only way that we can get through is if people actually do the right thing. So, I thank you for kind of, first of all, enabling the platform to be able to talk about some of this stuff, and keep pushing. But I'm as grateful as the folks listening might share.
Awesome, man. And again, thank you so much, man. And I know we're all excited to see what we can see from you in the future, man.
Cool. Looking forward to it. Thank you again.
Awesome.
Thank you so much again. I think that kind of closes us out.
Cool.
Have a great rest